What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. I wanted to come on here today and talk to you guys because we've been getting a lot of messages from different people who've been following our blog and our social media for a while, and they've seen that we've been living and traveling around the world, running online businesses for 15 years now. And what we get a lot of is people saying, yeah, but you started 15 years ago. It was so much easier back then. There wasn't as much competition. Like, what about now? What about now in 2024? If I want to quit my job, or if I want to build a new business, or if I want to go fully remote and travel and live all around the world and have that freedom, what do I do? So in this video, I want to answer that question exactly how Dries and I would run it if we were going to go step by step, starting from having little or no money to going fully remote and being financially free like we are today. So with that out of the way, let's get into the video. Bah! So looking back now to 2012, when we first started this whole thing, I remember it like it was yesterday. You know, we had been traveling already for a couple years, and we knew we had to start making money on the road, and we didn't know what to do. We just kept running out of cash, and we were like, we just want to keep traveling. We don't want to go back to Canada. I absolutely hated my job, and so that was like a nightmare to me to think about having to go back. And we just decided one day that, you know, no matter what, we have to figure out a way to sustain this financially so we can stay on the road, so we can keep exploring new places, so we can keep meeting the local people and trying new food and seeing the world and not wasting another minute working at a job that just killed me. I hated my job so much, and I didn't want to be in that factory, and I didn't want to be doing the work that I was doing. So it was so important to us to figure this out, and luckily we did. But what happened was when we started the blog and everything, it's true, there were no bloggers around at that time. There were very few travel bloggers, and there were very few people who were making money running their own online businesses, right? The whole idea of remote work and digital nomad and living overseas while working basically hadn't really started yet. So there was a catch-22 there. For one, there wasn't as much competition, which is true. But for two, like, there wasn't any information online. So we knew of one guy, Johnny Ward from One Step Forward. Shout out to Johnny, a good friend of ours now. He was writing about the fact that he was making money from his blog, from his travel blog. And he had said in one of his posts that he made $3,000 in a month. And to me and Dries, we were just blown away by that. Like, $3,000, we were traveling on less than half of that at the time. And so to hear him say that he was just writing blog posts and taking photos and sharing on social media and making $3,000 a month just blew us away. So it was that inspiration that got us to start the blog and start going. And from that point, we were able to grow our blog over about a year-long time before it started making money. After a year, it made a little bit of money. I think it took about 2 years before it started earning like $3,000 a month without us really opening our laptops that much. We maybe work mostly on videos like this to share with you guys, and on the actual blog, we have a team now. And this progression happened over a long period of time, but the blog was sustainable for itself after about 2 years, I would say. So we were earning that $3,000 a month that could pay for our travels and our lifestyle and some savings and everything. And then we started another blog in 2020 because I was getting all these comments saying, you can't start a blog now. It's like way harder than it was when you started. So I started a new blog in a new niche, and we were able to grow that to 6 figures in a single year. So the point of telling you all this is that we know that it can still be done. If you have something you're passionate about and you know what you're doing and you know how to direct your message, you can build your own business around your passions, and you can do it rather quickly. And the good thing is, even if it takes you a year to start making some money, if it's a year doing something that you love, then it doesn't feel like work. So that should be the end goal. You know, the goal is to start doing something that you love, to start building something, and down the road it's going to be something that's going to give you that time freedom, so you can spend more time with the people you love, you can travel more, you can work from anywhere, you can pick your own hours, work maybe 15 or 20 hours per week max if that's what you like, hang out with your friends more often, and of course, travel more. So in this video, like I said, I'm going to walk step by step through exactly what I would do, what Dries and I would do if we're going to start over. And the number one thing that we would do is very clearly visualize our end goal. This is something we've always done, and now that we're in all these circles with these high-level 7-figure entrepreneurs and people who are super goal-oriented, successful, and happy, they all know how to envision that end goal perfectly. Like, they have a crystal clear image in their head. And if you've seen any super athlete or any super successful person, all the famous people that you know, Jim Carrey wrote himself a check for $10 million, put it in his wallet. He got that 10 million. Conor McGregor literally saw himself with the belt and saw himself driving beautiful cars, and then he ended up winning 2 belts in the UFC. These people that are super successful, you always hear them saying, I knew I was gonna get there. I could see myself at the end goal. And that's what you have to do. And even if you totally don't believe in the law of attraction and the idea of visualizations, then that doesn't matter, because what it does is that if you're actually seeing your end goal, it just guides you in that direction. Whether or not external sources start lining up for you, that's another story, if you want to believe that or not. But what it does do is it makes you personally focused on that end goal. That end goal turns into your North Star, and you can follow that all the way until you get there. For now, you need to know exactly what your best day looks like. You know, what are you doing on your perfect day? Who are you hanging out with? What's the view like? What are the smells? What's the climate? And what are you working on to help other people? There's a lot of purpose there. If your perfect day right now sounds like just lying on a beach and drinking Coronas somewhere in the tropics, that's totally normal. It probably means that you're near burnout in your own job, but that's okay, because that's common for everybody to think that in their heads. But go beyond that a little bit, because if you're lying on the beach every day drinking Coronas for days on days and days on end, you will get super bored, super fat, and super unhealthy, of course. So you want to have that purpose in your end goal. So picture your perfect day that includes work, that includes what you're doing, where you are, all those kind of things. And that's step one in really starting to achieve what you want to achieve. The second thing I would do would completely depend on our finances. So when we first started traveling, we had a nest egg. We had saved up some money. We had good jobs back in Canada. We were able to sell our house and sell our car. So we had some money in the bank. If I did not have any money, I would get what we call an anchor job. An anchor job is a part-time remote job that you can get while you're on the road, or just like while you're saving up to leave. And it's just gonna help you to still make some money while you're building your online business. The reason we call it an anchor job is because it still is an anchor. It's not the ultimate freedom end goal that you want, but it does help some people to just make sure they have some money coming in while they're building this business. Because at first, for the first few months of your business, it's not going to earn any money, of course. You're going to start growing it and building it. So some people, it really helps to have that anchor job. And we have an entire blog post, I'll link it down below, that has 101 travel jobs that you can choose from. That's really long. There's a ton of jobs in there. Go ahead and read it if you want. So again, I just have to reiterate that I would not be doing an anchor job if I had a nest egg. If I had enough money saved to spend 6 months or a year living somewhere else, I would not waste 20 hours a week working on an anchor job. Instead, I would put all that time into my new business, and that would make sure that that business would grow quicker and start earning money faster. And in the long run, there's way more money to be earned from running your own freedom business than there is from working, trading dollars for hours and working for somebody else. Every single minute that you spend working for somebody else is taking away time that you could be building your own empire. Just remember that. So the next thing we would do is house sitting, and I would do this no matter what. Like if I had some savings, but I didn't have any money coming in, or if I had no savings and I went the anchor job route, both of those situations, I would still do house sitting, because these days, accommodation costs are skyrocketing. If you want a nice place, it's going to cost you a lot of money on Airbnb, or if you find a long-term rental overseas, it's getting increasingly expensive. So hop on house sitting. Check the links down below. I left a link to our free house sitting roadmap, and it's going to show you exactly how to get house sitting jobs quickly to make sure that you can get them back to back, and you can use these free accommodation months to build your remote business, which is the ultimate goal here. So save yourself tens of thousands of dollars every year on your accommodation, especially when you're first starting out, and you can have some beautiful luxury houses that you get to stay at. Definitely worth it to hop on house sitting. It's a good way to get free accommodation and have a place to stay while you're building your remote business. Just make sure there's good Wi-Fi. All right, and then no matter what, I would start your own remote business. So for every remote business, you basically need a few things. You need a website, you need social media like Facebook, Instagram, preferably YouTube, and you need to have some kind of product that you're going to sell at the end. Of course, you can go the regular travel blogger route and you can make money with affiliates and ads, but really those are pennies per visitor to your website. Whereas if you have something to sell them, even if you have a product that's only $50, like a mini course or a $10 ebook, that's going to get much more money in your pocket than the ads and the affiliates that are just pennies per person. So it's really important that you have the idea when you're starting your site and you're starting your new online business, that you're like, okay, what's this going to be? What's the monetization plan for this? What can I sell and offer my audience? And what is going to help my audience once I get an audience and I've grown it to a certain point? So there's so many businesses that you can start. You can start a blog as a business. You can do live lessons. You can do one-on-one coaching. You can sell physical products, like we said, like photography, t-shirts, hats, keychains, calendars, all that kind of stuff. We've sold that stuff before, and actually it's a good way to make a little bit of money. You can sell digital products online, and thanks to technology these days, it's super easy to do so. So things like digital courses, photo books, filters, ebooks. Next, you can sell things like in-person tours wherever you're living. You can sell virtual tours, video and photography courses, recipe courses and cooking classes. You can teach a language and create a pre-recorded course or have live lessons for language learning. You can do content creation at scale for other businesses, social media management, and so much more. We've done almost every single one of the things I listed there, and a lot of other things as well. There's just so many options these days. And like I said, the technology makes it so much easier than it was when we started. There's a program and a technology online that'll help you sell just about anything that you can think of to your audience once you grow one. So this video has basically been a bunch of things that probably feel a little bit overwhelming. And this is very much how a lot of online entrepreneurs feel when they're just starting out. They're looking up this massive mountain and they see people at the top and like so many other successful people who have done this. So the mountain looks enormous and you're thinking to yourself, like, where do I start? There's so much to this. It's overwhelming, and that's totally normal. But as long as you look down at your feet and focus on the first few steps, it can make a huge difference. And also, like with any online business, there's so much to learn that it's best to have someone to show you how to do it. And that's what we're here for. This is exactly what we do. We help people launch personal brands. We help them figure out their messaging. We show them how to create content that's authentic, doesn't come off salesy or cringy. It builds and grows an audience, and it helps you to sell your passion product. Whatever you end up building, we can help you sell it. We've helped over 1,000 people start their own websites, and I've built dozens of them myself. And I know from experience that there's a massive learning curve in the tech of it all. Like, you know, some people feel they're not tech savvy, and I'm not saying it's impossible to build a blog if you're not tech savvy. You can definitely design your own website, even if you're not tech savvy, but it's gonna take a really long time to learn that skill. And it's a skill you only have to learn once. After you've figured that out, you have your website up and running, it's designed and it's built, you don't have to know that skill anymore. Then all you have to do is focus on the fun stuff, which is creating content, adding photos, doing videos, and all that creative stuff. So really, learning how to build a website and design it is a skill that you're only gonna use for a few weeks or months, however long it takes you, and then you're gonna forget about it. So that's why we're here to help with that as well. We wanna launch your website for you, build it for you from scratch, and show you how it's done. Then we'll hand you the tools to show you how to customize it yourself and make it your own. The good thing about everything that we do is that we're trying to keep it in line with everybody's passion. Ultimately, when you choose your path for remote business, you want it to be so in line with your passions that when you sit down on your computer and you start working, you're in your zone of genius and time just flies by. That's how it is for us when I was building that fly fishing site, when we work on goats on the road, when I'm doing these kind of videos like this. I just get in my zone and time flies by. And instead of me looking at the clock like I used to when I was working back in Canada and being like, man, what time am I getting off here? I actually have to set an alarm to peel myself away from the computer to make sure that we only work 3 or 4 hours a day, because that's our personal goal and that's our work-life balance. And that's what we want for you, to be able to choose the hours that you want, to have the freedom to work whenever you want, wherever you want, and of course doing exactly what you want and feeling great about it. So if you're interested in any of this stuff, just check the links down below, because I've left a link to a quiz on our website. That quiz is just going to ask you a few questions to get to know you. The first time that we're working with people here on Goats on the Road, we're only taking in 7 creators. So we want to make sure that everyone that comes into the program is 100% perfect. And so we're being really careful filtering some people through. Our ultimate goal with this thing is that at the end of it, all 7 people in the first round are glowing testimonials that we have that are like, oh, I'm so happy I started this remote business. It got me all set up. I could have never done it without the goats. That's what we want for you, and that's what we want in this program. So if you want to take the quiz, go ahead and check the links down below. In the meantime, thanks for watching the video. See you on the next one.